Welcome back, Arcadians. Alex here with another video, and look guys, I've only got it working. My beautiful Taito Taitronics Space Invaders from 1978. I've had this in my collection for 2 years, and this is the first time I've seen it working, so I'm really happy to see this going, guys, because this game means so much to me. It really, really does. I've got a lot of memories playing this game as a child with my best friend Tom. Our local swimming baths in West London, Feltham. It was in a swimming pool, not in the swimming pool, but it was in the foyer, and we used to queue up around outside the door to play this game. You could hear the thud from outside the swimming pool. It was absolutely incredible. And when we got inside to see this cabinet, it literally looked like it just come out from outer space. We were just so excited to play this. There's just nothing else like it before this. There really wasn't. You had games like Pong and Rebound, which you played with other people, and you know, your score, well, you'd reach a certain score and that was it, the game was over. You had driving games like Night Driver, which looked very primitive, and again, I think you were on a time limit. You had gallery games that you shoot targets, again, you were on a time limit. And they never shot back at you. This was the first game where aliens were actually shooting back at you. You know, or it had an intelligence that no other game had shown before. And also it had a high score. This was the first game that you could put your high score on. The only game before this that had a high score was Seawolf. But that was preset by the manufacturer. You know, there's a high score already on there. This game, you could put your high score on, and because of that, it changed arcades forever. Suddenly, video games became competitive, and it set a whole craze in Japan. They went crazy for this game, and this was really Japan's first biggest selling game. You know, you had games like Breakout, which were a massive craze in Japan, but that was Atari. But this was the first real Japanese game to break into the market, and they sold 100,000 units in Japan and 300,000 units worldwide. They couldn't keep up with the success of this game, so they had to license it out to other companies like Midway, who produced this cabinet in America. So Taito Taitronics set up a factory in America making this game for Midway. And they changed a few things around. They put buttons on here, got rid of the joystick. But I prefer the joystick. I prefer this cabinet. I mean, it's just the one I remember as back in the day. I think it's much more striking than the Midway one. Just stands out a mile. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And because of its success, it was cloned to no end. Nintendo even cloned this game. They made Space Fever, which was a Space Invaders clone. There were clones and bootlegs popping up all over the place, and Taito Taitronics couldn't do anything about it because there were no laws to say you couldn't. It wasn't illegal to make a clone back in these days. So Taito Taitronics went to court over this, and I think they finally won in 1982 and got copyright law on video games, and that changed everything. And the first game to actually be copyrighted was Astro Blaster, Sega Gremlin's Astro Blaster. But yeah, they have a lot to thank for Taito Taitronics already, to going to court and getting that copyright law, because, you know, they were losing money. Well, I wouldn't say they were losing money, they were making loads of money, but they could have made a hell of a lot more if it wasn't cloned. Imagine how many units they would have made. I would have reckoned easily 500,000, maybe even 1 million. There were so many clones of this game. Absolutely incredible. But the funny thing is, when this game came out, they actually thought it was too hard. They didn't think it was going to be a success. And they took it to a trade show, and they thought their game Blue Shark was going to be the success. I remember that game as a kid. A beautiful looking cabinet. Very rare to see these days. But it's got an underwater theme. You're shooting sharks with a harpoon. And they thought that was going to be more popular than this, because they thought this was too hard. But were they wrong? They were certainly wrong, because this was a phenomenon. It really was. Took everyone by surprise. So yeah, they even thought actually that there's a rumour that there was a coin shortage with this game, a yen coin shortage in Japan, but I don't believe. I think it's just a rumour that went around because they might have struggled to get the coins back in the bank, but I think operators were very keen to cash in on the money they were made. I don't think they sort of sat on the money, you know, which they would have had to done if there was going to be a coin shortage. But I think they were quick to get the money, but they couldn't get the money in the bank quick enough. I think that's what the problem was. But yeah, huge success. It really was. So guys, what we're going to do in this video, we are going to go through the games, because I've got the Braze kit in here. Got Space Invaders Part 2. Now Space Invaders Part 2 is the colour version of Space Invaders, which I believe came out the same year as Galaxian, which was the first colour game. It actually had colour sprites, whereas this just had colour blocks really. And Space Invaders, this version is the black and white version. It's just got colour gels over the monitor, which is down there, which is projected up through a half mirror and onto an image of a moonscape in the background. We've got other games in there like Lunar Rescue, which is an excellent game, Balloon Bomber, JTAR Spectre, Space Laser, Galaxy Wars, which is a bit like Space Launcher, Nintendo Space Launcher, and Super Earth Invasion. We're going to go through them. And just remember those sounds, those iconic sounds from this beautiful game. We're also going to have a look inside. We're going to do that now, actually. We're going to open it up and just see how it's put together. It's quite interesting to see how this game is put together, because as kids, we couldn't work it out, because the image looks like it's further away from the actual depth of the cabinet. So we used to go around the back of the cabinet and to see what was happening. We thought the cabinet was longer than what it actually is. So we're going to open it up, have a look inside and just see how it's put together. It's quite interesting. And then we're going to go through the games. But yeah, absolutely stunning cabinet with all the Japanese decals on there, which is super cool. And the bezel. Lovely colours, that deep blue colour with the flying saucers and the aliens down the bottom. And I just love this image on the side here. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Which I believe they took from the film Forbidden Planet. There's a scene in that film, this old black and white sci-fi film, where this alien gets caught on an electric fence. I believe he took the kind of idea from that film, and I can see why. It looks very similar. Yeah, it's got all the Japanese labels on there. Really cool. Anyway guys, let's open it up. Right, so here's the back of the cabinet, guys. Got the serial number there. Taito Corporation. Which I think they changed their company name a few times, because they've obviously made a lot of games before this. I think the first game they ever made with kind of like sprite scaling was Taito Taitronics Interceptor. Very rare game. I don't know what that number is there, but it looks like it's been, look, Space Invaders sales 1980. It could have been in an auction or something like that. If I can open the door, I'm struggling. Come on. It's not going to open for me now for the video. Just had it open a minute ago. Come on. There we go. There's the back, guys. So that is the back of the moonscape, and this piece of wood here comes out. It's on these wing nuts here. So we're going to undo these wing nuts and pull this whole unit out, which has got a black light in there. I think it's a black light in there, which plugs in there, and then we've got the monitor chassis, which I took out all last week, put all that back together. There's the famous L-shaped PCB. You've got the soundboard and the motherboard there, and you've got the daughter board, I don't know if you can see there, the Braze kit plugged in there, and it's got a modern switching power supply in there as well. There's some very early decals, like an instruction there of what all the pots do, colour to adjusting the widths of the monitor. Yeah, it's pretty neat cab. It's a very clean cabinet. You can imagine that the use that this game's had in the past is in very good condition. It's not often you see a Space Invaders in this condition. It's usually got loads of scratches down the side where it's been knocked when it's been moved in and out of an arcade. But maybe this stayed in situ for quite a while. But anyway, I'm going to set the tripod up and we're going to undo this, just show you this moonscape. Undo these wing nuts. Got some nice handles there, you can just pull the whole unit out. So I was absolutely fascinated to see how this was put together, because it always baffled me as a child. I could never quite work it out. I was always taking things apart as a kid. I would love to have seen this as a kid. I've got to unplug the light. Let's unplug the light. That's it now. It should just come out. So, there we go. There we go. And that just pulls out like that. There we go. Let's put that on the floor. And there you can see, guys, I don't know if you can see that. Let's turn that light off. That's the half mirror. So that's just held in by a bracket either side. You unscrew that bracket either side. Then the half mirror comes out. You've got to be very careful with the half mirror because you don't get, they're very expensive and I don't think you even make them anymore. So you'd have to get that. Then you get access to the monitor and that's how you can adjust the picture. But yeah, have a look at this though. This is quite interesting because this is the moonscape, which you've probably never seen before. So this is the box. It's like a box that's been cut in half. Two handles on either side. And then you've got the moonscape, which is kind of like, I think it's UV. I guess it is. It's a black light behind here, which this is not very flexible, so I can't just pull that back and show you, but there is a light behind that that reflects up. And it gives you that kind of 3D look. Which is really cool. Simple, really, when you think about it. But it's taken a lot of these ideas from the early electrical mechanical games, because they all did this. So a lot of these early video games were kind of like a crossover from the electrical mechanical days, and they were still using those ideas, which is really fascinating. So a lot of those early gallery gun games that you find on EM games, they all did this, and it just created a depth and a kind of atmosphere and environment that you were in a little world, you know, which was so cool. And that's what you wanted with an arcade. You wanted escapism, and you certainly got that with Space Invaders. Really cool game. Right, we're going to go through the games now. Right, so we're going to go through the Braze kit. You can see the beautiful backlit moonscape there. Space Invaders running. I'm going to zoom you right in now. Maybe a bit more. There we go. You see what's happening. Alright, let's corner up. I don't even have to corner up, it's on free play. Is it going to be loud enough? It's not loud enough. You can't hear the thud. Ah, brings back so many memories, this game. It really does. I'm not particularly that good at it, guys. I think I can probably get just under 10,000. I think that was the last biggest score I had when I owned a Space Invaders Part 2, which was the first arcade game I ever owned. It was very similar to this one. It had the moon landscape, backdrop, half mirror. We'll try and get this big flying ship at the top. Yes. Everybody needs a Space Invaders in their collection. It is the granddaddy of all games, it really is. Slowly picking them off. And I remember back in the day, let's just get this big flying saucer. Oh, I missed him. We used to go down to Cornwall quite a lot for our holidays, and I remember there was a few pubs down there that had these in the beer garden in a little old shed. Because kids back then in the 80s weren't allowed in the pubs, we had to sit in the beer garden. So we were quite happy, as long as there was a Space Invaders machine in the garden. We were quite happy with our White's lemonade and our packet of Salt and Shake crisps. So it gets a bit tricky. Yes. Should get an extra life at 1500. Ah, I got through the base. How dare he? That was my fault. I created a gap for myself to shoot and he got me instead. Extra life. Does it just bring back like a holiday feel to you, this game? I don't know. It's just so many memories. Right, now we can pick these ones off. Yes. I think that's the highest score, 300. Or it might be 500, I can't remember. Oh, that's where it gets tricky. Imagine the kids playing this back in the day. Just about reached to the control panel. Such a big machine. Yes. This is where it gets really tricky. Trying to need a little space in the middle there. There is a technique, and I can't remember what it's called, but my good friend Dave is really good at it. He gets the Space Invaders to drop all the way to the bottom and just picks them off. Ah, I missed that one. Last life. Oh no! Oh no, I've got one more life. Ah! Gets really difficult. 3010. So that's my high score. That would have stayed on there, on the machine, until the operator turned it off. So that was the score to beat back in the day. Right, so now we're going to go through the next games. Space Invaders Part 2, which is the same. Obviously, it was in colour back in the day. Slightly different display, a track screen. And there was a method of playing this game where you could get a huge bonus, and I think it's the second line in from the left. If you left the bottom one till last, the bottom invader, I've shot him now, but you would get a huge bonus. I remember doing it a few years ago when I owned the machine. So there was little hidden secret bonuses in this game, which was quite cool. But potentially, it's the same game as Space Invaders. Next up is a fantastic game, Lunar Rescue, which is very similar to Space Launcher, Nintendo Space Launcher. Some argue this is better. I think they're both pretty good, to be honest with you. Now, the object of this game is to land my Apollo spaceship on the base, and then the men run out, and then you've got to take them back up to the mothership. And on the way up, you can actually thrust and shoot at the same time, and then dock. And you've got to collect all the men from down the bottom there. You've got thrust, and you've got fuel at the top there, 760 fuel, which will run out. On later levels it gets really tricky. You have to use the thrust quite a lot. to get out of a sticky situation. And then I'll just zoom up there, dock with the mothership, back down again. And this game gets very competitive. Shoot as many as you can on the way up, get those extra points. £150. Oh, we've got like meteors coming at us now to deal with. Not doing so well. One more base. Last base. Extra life. See if I can get that last one. He moved. I forgot he was going to go that side. Yes. And we dock. My top score on this is 4,670. Not extremely high, but we're halfway there. This is another beautiful cabinet if you ever see a Lunar rescue. I was lucky to see a Taito Taitronics lineup that Alpha One, my good friend Ol, brought to, I think it might have been Revival, many years ago. And it was just lovely to see a Space Invaders Part 2, a balloon bomber. I think he had, what was the other balloon game? There's another balloon game, you sort of have to get through the mazes, I can't remember what it's called now. But a really cool lineup of Taito Taitronics arcade machines. It's a sight to behold. I might show you a picture actually. Oh, just got through there. Is he going to beat his last score? Not far off it now. Two more bases to do. Oh, got too greedy. Should have just gone straight up. Yes, he could beat his high score. This is my last life though. One more base. Got plenty of fuel left. Yes, he's beaten his high score. Yes. Will he get to 5,000? Yes, he has. 6,000 now. It's a good score, guys. Oh. Game over. That was a good game. I enjoyed that. So I get to put my name in. And we have the new high score on Lunar Rescue. Brilliant stuff. That was a good game, that. We've got Balloon Bomber. This is a strange one, guys. So basically we have these balloons with bombs. And the idea is to shoot the bombs, not the balloons. Because otherwise the bombs drop down and then create craters at the bottom, like that. And then you're kind of stuck between each crater. And you die. It's quite a hard game. Oh, it's at the end of the level, yeah. So we've got a plane dropping off more bombs. Really hard to get just the bomb. Oh, you're looking up the screen, forgetting about the bullets coming down. Oh, that was well done. Ah, see, that's a good little game. Good little game. JTAR Spectre, which I think is very similar to Space Invaders, to be honest with you. I don't know what the difference is. I'll have to look this up. Because to me, there doesn't seem to be too much difference. Not from the get-go, anyway. So we won't play that. It feels a bit faster. Space Laser. This is quite a cool one. So we've got an energy bar at the bottom. That green bar is my energy bar. Oh no, it's not that. It's at the top there. It's got fuel. So I've got a fuel at 100. And when it's at 100, it allows me to shoot all the way up the screen. And as soon as you've shot, it goes right down to 0. So you've got to wait for it to go back up again. This would have been a good two-player game. Yes, got him. Ah, it's quite hard though. Ah, see, if your fuel's not at 100%, you won't shoot all the way up the screen. Yes, got him. Got him. I could get into this actually. It's a really good little game. Yes. It's just a bit of patience really. You don't want to be trigger happy with this game. Yes, extra life. Ah, got me. Yes. Yes. That's the best score I've ever got in this game. Not quite. Oof, nearly got him. Yes. Actually, I don't think it has to be 100%. Ah, got me. Game over? Yes, that's a good little game actually. Did I get my name in? No, not on that one. Space Laser. And next we've got Galaxy Wars, which is a space launcher type game, but it's nowhere near as good. And what makes this not as good as Space Launcher, actually it's not even letting me access this one. I don't know why it did this last time. It's not even crediting, so we can't even play that one, which is a shame. Super Earth Invasion. What's this one? I don't think this has even got any sound. It's just another Space Invaders clone. So yeah, there's 4 good games on that Braze kit, I think, that are worth playing. Space Laser, which is good. Balloon Bomber, Space Invaders 1 and 2, and Lunar Lander. Not Lunar Lander, Lunar Rescue. That's it. That is the Braze kit, guys. Awesome bit of kit, and just makes this cabinet even more fun with those added games. Really cool. Well, that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. More videos to come. I've got a new PCB that we're going to try out in the next video in my Jammer Cab. A really cool game, so look out for that. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.